more creepy videos and theories that will keep you up all night. I'm Jet Ski Chuck. You are watching a live video. Let's go. We are just waiting for everyone to get in here. This is a future for everyone in the future watching this. This is a live. We are just waiting for everyone to get on in here. Sandy, BBPJ in the building. Mary in the building. Let's go. We have some creepy videos we're going to be reacting to, and then we're going to be diving back into the Traveler Beyond the Ice Walls. You guys already know the vibes. We got YouTube added something called goals. So it's 0 out of 10 right now. If we get 10 super chats, a celebration takes place. I don't know. There's something new YouTube's doing. We're trying it out. I guess it's called goals, but we're going to try it out. It is in effect right now. 0 out of 10. What's good? How are you guys feeling? Test in the building. Ivan. You guys are early. I got a workout in. I feel good, guys. I went swimming, hit the weights, got some cardio in. Sat in the what's it called? The steam room. I feel good. I gotta keep going. Evans with the 1999. Oh my goodness. Part 2, you already know, Evans. That is huge. Thank you. PJ with the $5. That is amazing. Thank you, guys. We are at 2 out of 10 for the snowmobile backflip. Oh, that's pretty cool. They're trying to make it like Twitch, I guess. Okay, making it hype. All right. Well, we'll do a backflip then if we hit our goal. But yeah, we got some creepy videos we're gonna be reacting to. You guys been seeing these orbs? The beats ain't playing. Oh yeah. Crystal Daniels, what up? Love when you go live. Thank you. I'm gonna be going live a lot more. And we got a series what we're doing today. It's part 2. How many people we got in here? Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. 99. Oh, hundreds in here. That's all we need to get started. All right, guys, let's jump in because we got a juicy day. Let's go. Bertha Nada? Sorry if I butchered that. Let's go. Keep those heads on a straight swivel. With the 5. The Finberry Cologne. Let's go. Like and share. Be sure to slap that like button because we're diving into some mysterious videos. All right, guys, huge shout out to Slap Tam for this video we're diving into. He's been dropping some bangers. Make sure you subscribe and let's check him out.
We've got some seriously spooky video clips for you today, so hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content, just like this.
This is just a warm-up to get everybody in here, and then we're going to be diving into some more creepy theories later on. Are you guys ready for part 2? I am.
Our first clip of the day comes from the TikTok account Scary and Creepy 1. It's some eerie home security footage. Take a look at what's been caught on camera.
What the fuck, baby? Wake up, wake up, wake up. Something's in the door.
The door appears to open all by itself.
What the fuck, baby? Wake up, wake up, wake up. Something's in the door.
The eerie events continue. The clip abruptly ends and we're left wondering what exactly it is we've just seen. Is this just a hoax for internet fame, or could this house really be haunted?
Oh, I guess the door just opened a little bit.
A cryptic post from Reddit user Young Sweppy has sent shivers down users' spines. The user shared a disturbing image captured on their son's baby camera, showing a mysterious figure standing beside the child's crib. The eerie snapshot has ignited a flurry of spooky tales and ghostly encounters. The user claimed to have been awakened by their son's babbling, only to discover the unsettling image on their phone. Upon investigating, they found no one in the room. The post prompted a flood of comments from users sharing their own personal paranormal experiences. One user, Overladen Lederhosen, recounted a chilling incident at their grandmother's house. Their toddler daughter, who had never visited the house before, suddenly stopped crying and exclaimed "Gumma" or "Grandma" while staring into empty dark space. The child had never been to the house and didn't know who it used to belong to. While the images and stories are undeniably spine-tingling, skeptics argue there may be more logical explanations.
No, that is crazy. It kind of looks like an old lady. There's like the hair or ponytail. I don't know. I would be definitely worried.
Experts suggest that unusual lighting, shadows, or camera glitches could be behind this eerie appearance. As the debate rages on, one thing's certain: these chilling tales have left Reddit users sleeping with the lights on.
I'm coming on here with some sad news.
In a series of haunting videos, TikTok user Tonya Richardson, who goes by the username No Limit Designs 23, has captured what some are calling paranormal activity in her bedroom, leaving millions of viewers stunned and sparking intense debate. The chilling clips, recorded on multiple nights, show Tonya filming the top of her bed, where a subtle yet unmistakable movement can be seen just under the blanket.
The first thing I'm thinking is, what if it was a mouse, y'all? And she just didn't, try touching it or grabbing it. How crazy would that be? Or this might be the ghost of her fur baby. Always hit that like button. Hey, let's go. Definitely. Slap those likes. Helps your boy a lot.
Feeling, baby.
You need to get target's head. Understand what makes it tick. Of course, that's easier with some people than others.
Earlier this year, Tonya's pet dog Frenchie sadly passed away. The footage is eerie to say the least, and has left many wondering if this is Frenchie's spirit trying to make contact.
I almost feel like it'll be more like indentions into it, but I couldn't tell you.
Tonya's decision to share multiple videos, all filmed on separate nights, is a deliberate attempt to rule out coincidence and skepticism.
I miss you, baby.
Here's yet more footage.
Frenchie, are you there? Are you there? Hello. Hello, my sweet girl. I knew you were here. I knew it. I knew you were here.
Tonya's love for Frenchie is palpable, and her pain at losing him is still evident. In an emotional post, she shared an old photo of Frenchie snuggled up under the covers, revealing that her furry friend had a peculiar habit of sleeping just under the blanket. This revelation has led many to believe that the mysterious movements are indeed Frenchie's way of communicating with Tonya. The response from viewers has been overwhelming, with many expressing their support and belief in Tonya's story. Others have shared their own experiences with lost pets, sparking a sense of community and solidarity. Tonya's videos have ignited a passionate conversation about the afterlife, animal spirits, and the unbreakable bond between humans and their pets.
That might really be Frenchie, y'all. That is wild. Alabama in the house. Uh-oh, more.
715 has US residents spooked. The footage captures 3 lights moving erratically.
More UAP drone footage. Snaps. They've been going wild. If you haven't seen my last 2 videos I dropped, we go in depth. We even found one that looked like a batarang. Did you guys see that? The bat wing.
Changing size, color, and brightness above a nuclear power plant in North Carolina.
Bro.
Take still shots too, Kenny.
Guess that, dude.
Why the f did they just
It just made a perfect triangle. It made a triangle.
The video, which has garnered significant attention online, raises more questions than answers.
Oh,
they're swirling around.
Are they gonna lie back?
Oh my God.
What is going on right now, bro?
Oh my God. Jay, what are we seeing?
I don't know.
North Carolina is home to 4 Duke Energy nuclear power plants: Sheeran Harris Nuclear Power Plant, the Brunswick Nuclear Power Plant, McGuire and Catawba nuclear power stations. While the exact location of the sighting remains, Sheeran Harris Nuclear Power Plant, the Brunswick Nuclear Power Plant, McGuire.
Oh, I was gonna say these kind of resembled that what was it on Power Rangers? You know, the station they used to go to. I'm like, hold on, was that a nuclear station?
And Catawba nuclear power stations. While the exact location of the sighting remains unclear, Reddit users have scrutinized the footage, with some pinpointing McGuire nuclear station due to the tree line visible in the video.
But here's the thing. These are not flashing lights. Like, there are no runway lights. Oh my God.
The plane.
The lights appear to be hovering just above the nuclear power plant, sparking concerns about safety and national security.
Oh my God.
What the f is going on?
As UAP sightings continue to capture public attention, calls for transparency and investigation grow louder.
See a plane, we just got
The scientific community emphasizes the need for rigorous analysis and evidence-based explanations.
Guess that, dude.
Why the f did they just
It just made a perfect triangle.
It made a triangle. Joe in the building. Nelson Charles, what up? Lock in and buckle up. Buckle. Keisha. Dee Dee. Sandy, what's good? Art.
It made a triangle. Whoa, bro. Oh my God.
A Reddit user going by Chroma Dermal Blaster has shared an intriguing piece of footage taken on September 12, 2024, just south of Seattle in Tacoma, Washington. The video shows a Chinook military helicopter circling above the waterfront.
Dude, the black helicopter.
What's good, Hitman?
But what caught the uploader's attention and the internet's fascination is a mysterious chrome-like sphere hovering just above the helicopter's blades.
Oh, it is a sphere right above it. That's wild. I think we're about to be getting into some spheres in the book too, guys. So is this evidence of one? Remember this chopper, guys.
The user, filming with an iPhone 13 Pro, initially aimed to capture the helicopter, which had been circling oddly in the same area for some time. It wasn't until they reviewed the footage later that they noticed the unidentified aerial object. The user contacted Joint Base Lewis McCord, a nearby military installation, to inquire about the helicopter's activity. According to the base, the Chinook was operated by Special Operations and no flight schedule details were publicly available. This revelation has fueled speculation that the orb may have been under observation or even interacting with the helicopter. The users detailed
If you ask me, something is going on with these drones, these plasma orbs. Something is definitely going on. Are they trying to communicate? What is the deal?
account and efforts to validate the event, such as contacting the military base, have added credibility to the sighting, leading many to call this one of the more intriguing UFO videos of the year. This sighting is the latest in a growing list of UAP incidents involving military aircraft, echoing similar reports from around the world. The footage has reignited conversations about the US government's recent acknowledgement of UAP phenomena, with many wondering if such objects are being monitored or even studied by the military.
Trey Charles, what's up? Jet Ski Chuck, I've been checking out Beyond the Ice Wall. Thanks for bringing that knowledge. Yeah, we're going to be diving even deeper on today's episode. Who knows how deep we're going to get, man. And we might need to stop, take a little break in the middle of reading to look up some things, to see what we can find out. But yeah, exciting stuff. K-Ben, what's good? Tanner by the Sea in the house.
Reddit user Popular Tension 2195 shared an eerie account from a construction client that sparked speculation about the supernatural. The story, accompanied by a haunting game camera photo, has intrigued both skeptics and believers. According to the OP, the homeowner set up a motion-activated hunting camera in their living room after noticing one of their dogs urinating indoors. The photo, taken in 2011, reveals a strange figure in their living room.
Is that thing pulsing?
Adding to the mystery, the homeowner reported hearing a disembodied voice say, "Hey buddy," late one evening. The dogs reacted frantically, and despite searching the house, no intruder was ever found. These incidents sparked debate on Reddit. Skeptics suggested logical explanations such as a technical glitch or even a mannequin suggesting a hoax. Others speculated about the figure's paranormal nature, linking it to the unexplained voice and the dog's behaviour. So has this trail cam captured something supernatural?
I think this thing is crazy because if you look, it looked like it has some long fingers on the side of its hips or like on its stomach or something. Yeah, it is more like this, but definitely a creepy image. Almost like you can see through it too because you can see behind the painting.
Natural? Love to hear your thoughts on this bizarre photo in the comments down below. Several chilling photos of Surfhurst from the old Melbourne jail, stirring speculation about ghostly activity in one of Australia's most infamous historical sites. Reddit user Zipping recently shared a mysterious image captured during a tour of the jail in Victoria. The photo, taken on the second level, appears to show a shadowy figure standing on the stairs in the distance. The uploader insists no one else was on that level when the photo was taken. Adding to the intrigue, another Reddit user, MumTog77, shared a photo taken during a family visit in December 2019. In their image, a strange figure is visible outside cell 17, known as the jail's most haunted cell.
Buddy is on one. Whatever this is, he's not for no games. You see he's got the Debo, what's it called, work shirt on. The Debo Carhartt. He's not for no games. He probably got Tim's on too. Hey, K-Bim. Welcome. You're a buckled up bucko. Let's go.
Upon revisiting the unedited version of the photo, the figure appears to be wearing a long cloth mask with eye holes, resembling the garb of prisoners led to the gallows. The uploader also noted that they're meticulous about avoiding people in the background of their photos, yet the figure is distinctly present. Both photos were taken near the same area, amplifying questions about whether these images could be evidence of the paranormal. The old Melbourne jail is steeped in dark history. Opened in 1845, it housed some of Australia's most notorious criminals, including bushranger Ned Kelly.
Hey, look at this character. He's got the knight helmet with the yistle. That's cheating, isn't it? Aren't you supposed to have sword and shield? What is going on here?
Over the years, 133 prisoners have been executed within its walls, many meeting their end at the gallows. Cell 17, rumoured to be the most haunted, is often linked to strange occurrences, with visitors reporting sudden chills, disembodied voices, and unshakable feelings of unease. The jail closed in 1929 but has since been preserved as a museum, attracting tourists and paranormal enthusiasts alike. I actually did a tour of the old Melbourne jail last year, and while I didn't capture anything paranormal, the building's atmosphere is undeniably haunting and eerie. The figures in these photos have reignited debates about the supernatural. Could these images depict spirits of the jail's tormented past, or are they simply tricks of light and shadow?
I believe some of those jails are actually Tartarian structures as well, you know, being built way back in the day. You know, since we're on that subject, let me grab a book and see if we can find something about that real quick. Hold on. To the submersible. Let me see if I got something, guys. All right. Let's see if we can find something on prisons real quick. In the table of contents or something. This one doesn't have anything about the prisons, but it does say something about the Great Reset, though. And it talks about the last Great Reset. So, like, there was multiple resets, according to this book, for entertainment purposes only. Let's look at it while we're here. Let's start with the Great Reset. 287. Alright, it says, yet how can there be so many flood myths throughout cultures all around the world? Is this why we see mud flood evidence in nearly every city, state, and country? Oh, okay. Alright, this one don't got nothing on prisons. because we're almost done with that video. Then we're going to pick up where we left off from the last live. But I just want to see if they're talking about prisons. I think this might be the one. Nope. It might talk about it, but I'm not seeing it. I need to have this more organized, like once we read the book and like have like tabs. But I'm just going through the table of context, looking at all the different chapters to see. But they definitely got a lot of interesting stuff. Oh my God. Here, let me read a little bit of what they have in here. Free energy radium. Oh my God. That's right up my alley. Free energy radium? What do they know about radium? Mirroring the heavens. And Antiquitech solar and lunar calendars. The great Antiquitech flying machines. Oh my goodness. I know, guys, we gotta get through one thing first. We're gonna get through this book first before we dive into that. But man, Patty, what's good? Juan in the building. The music embeds itself into your cerebellum. Hey, that is excellent wordage. All right, guys. Sorry, I tried looking. I couldn't see. Oh, there's my chat overlay. I saw you guys for a little bit over there. But I tried looking up stuff about prisons, but they didn't have anything. So let's finish up this video and let's continue picking up where we left off from the last live.
The resemblance of the figure in Mumtog77's photo to a masked prisoner's garb is particularly striking, inviting further scrutiny. So have these Redditors really captured ghosts on camera? Share your thoughts and opinions with one another in the comments down below. Coming up in our last segment in just a few seconds, we take a look at some eerie home CCTV footage. But before we do, remember to hit that subscribe button, tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be notified every time we drop our scary and intriguing videos. Reddit user CrazyGrapefruit415 has shared a spine-tingling account of a haunted house where they and friends gather for weekly poker games. The chilling footage from the home's security cameras left users debating whether it's a genuine ghostly encounter or an elaborate hoax. The story begins, innocently enough, with poker nights among friends. However, the OP recently learned that the house is allegedly haunted, a revelation that came to light when the homeowner showed them some eerie home security footage.
Maybe I don't get out enough, but I've never really heard of a house being haunted, except, you know, like your closest asylum, wherever you stay at, being haunted. But, you know, I've never really heard someone say, oh yeah, that house down the street, that's haunted. Have you ever heard someone tell you that before?
footage. The cameras installed for monitoring the poker table due to real money games captured unexplainable events that left the OP somewhat unnerved. The footage, equipped with motion detection, reveals chairs moving.
Hey, Tanner by the Sea, welcome. Dark Waters 9 Explorer, let's go. I see you. Welcome. Here, let me throw you a life vest. You're going to need it on these waters.
Seemingly all on their own. Then, as the camera pans the room, triggered by movement, it seems to capture something else, quite unnerving. There appears to be a face peering ominously through the window.
Yo, that is a creepy face. Look at the eyes. That is creepy.
According to the poster, the homeowner and their family have experienced strange phenomena in the house for years, making the haunting a long-standing issue rather than a recent prank. Despite the chilling details, Reddit commenters have been cautious. Skeptics pointed out that the base of the chair is not visible in the footage, leaving room for the possibility of hidden strings or manipulation. Others argued the face in the window resembles a cardboard cutout rather than an apparition. The debates continue as users dissect the footage, frame by frame.
Yeah, that's a creepy face for real, guys. Oh my goodness. Alright, y'all. It is time for the main event. Alright guys, if you're just joining this live and you have no idea of what's really going on, we have been diving into the navigator who crossed the ice wall. And this crew is beyond the ice walls now, but they just met with I believe they were called the, what was the land called? I forgot already. I want to say Ancestral Republic is what I want to say. That's the name of this island that they're on. And they're telling them that they're in war right now. And that's what we picked up. They just started going back into war. So, fire react. You guys want that music to bang while I'm reading, or do you just want you guys should hear the fire crackle. Hopefully it's not too loud. All right. Anakim Giants of the South. I'm gonna do my best to read faster. You know, a couple of y'all is making fun of me. I'm not the best reader. I never really used to be a reader like that, you know, but I'm trying. I could feel myself getting a little bit better by the last 2 chapters, but yeah, these first couple might take a little bit for the old Hemi to rev up, all right? Bear with me. Yeah, it's the Ancestral Republic. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was. stunned by what happened and still not fully understanding the dramatic situation that was taking place in these lands. Many images crossed my mind, surely derived from the fear of helplessness of seeing the suffering of my new brothers before my eyes. There were people on the ground under the dust and rubble like it was tragically famous Sodom and Gomorrah. Enemy crossfire could be heard in the distance. I saw innocent people that day. Everything was getting out of control. Just a few moments, we watched the sky full of small silver spheres and red lights that followed the whole scene. All right, what did we guys just watch though? Hold on, time out. Small silver spheres though? I took a screenshot of the one earlier. Remember we were looking at that helicopter earlier? And look what was above it though. Let me duplicate this. Bear with me. Let me cook, guys. Let me cook. Alright? How do I... Oh, I only can copy. Paste duplicate. Alright. And look what was above it. One of these. Just like that. That was just on the video we was playing. They said a small silver ball. They in the Ancestral Republic, and they getting bombarded with those silver balls you see right there. We watched the sky full of... We watched the... Hold on, where are we at? We watched a sky full of small silver spheres with red lights that followed the whole scene. I was not sure if they were from the Republic of the enemies, the Republic or the enemies, but they were without missing anything of the gloomy scene. We ran trying to help those who were crossing on the way, but the reality is that we had to leave the boat as soon as possible. We were all going in different directions. The voice that before tried to calm us down now gave us orders that we were almost pleased to urgently go to the building of the presidential office, Renaissance. That's what we did. Those who were left standing in the middle of the rain of the debris and some detonation. Anguish and anger fell onto me like lightning in the ocean. I raised my eyes to the sky, begging for some type of mercy. Sky was in the furious red tone. Hold on, let me get these off. Is the fire too loud? Can I turn the fire up? The sky was the infamous red tone. I could observe that the sun glow did not burn my sight. It had a dark tone. What I thought was the moon stood out in the distance in a totally black color, as in the middle of the eclipse. I thought then that it was the strangest sky that anyone from the known lands had ever witnessed. Had the strange spheres that danced in the air in all directions. They were like silver eyes observing everything. The new question resounded inside me immediately after: who was controlling these small objects, and what was their function? That's a great question. As far as I could see in the midst of it all, none of them were performing any attack or maneuver. Kind of like our drone situation right now. If you ask me, they just observing everything going on, Florida had a red sky. You are 100% right. The situation at the time was really heartbreaking. The building was intact. Welcome, Scuddy. Hey, that animation kind of smooth, ain't it? The situation at the time was really heartbreaking. The building was intact and I can enter without major problems, although for obvious reasons there had been some turmoil at the entrance. Anyway, and despite the existing fear, people respected each other in an extraordinary way. I could not even imagine the chaos that could mean a similar situation in my homeland. I had lost the whole group in desperation under enemy fire. I felt concerned for the others with the responsibility by experience in the Continental Navy to put myself in their disposal to help in some way to the city that had just received us in the best way and now suffered an onslaught of enemies that are still invisible. The wounded numbered in the thousands. There were so many equipped rooms that in the face of such of an attack of dimension never seen in my humble wartime past, I was shocked. I tried to find the team, but it was impossible. I could not. Them drums are watching the orbs. Tell everybody to see I agree 100%. Palm Beach, stand up. I didn't see no red sky that day. Joe said, true. Even recognizing one of them, the people who were in the different corners of this huge building looked at me with some suspicion. I was a newcomer from other lands, and with me had also come a fierce attack that would leave at least a quarter of the city demolished. I tried to go through the different floors without getting lost and to find the office of the president failed. I needed to talk urgently with high command. I wanted to put myself at his orders. This attack was not going to be like any other. It would touch my heart so much that I felt equally part of these lands as much as the others who suffered at my side as blood that has been here long ago. This book is just a book. This is entertainment purposes only. To my surprise, I found Theo with a face of extreme concern with Captain Butler. Uh-oh, we finally found Butler. I called his name without being able to wait to arrive among so many people around. Butler performed a kind of typical military salute from afar without losing customs. I was glad to see such a familiar face, and it has generated me confidence among so much atypical war madness. I saluted Theo as best as I could with a faltering voice, who said everything with his mechanical look. He showed to be depressed by the situation, which was not for less. I put myself under his orders to help in what he needed and required such a situation. Theo thanked me with a gesture, but commented that nothing we could do but wait for the moment. Although in a failed way, I tried again to deposit my many questions. The moment deserved it in my mind, but Fael was in a heated conversation in any kind of tiny communicator where the other voice repeated constantly and the following was clearly heard. We are requesting support from the Anakim. We have no choice, Fael. This was planned attack to wipe out a civilian and secure the area. There is no turning back. Butler turned back to me with a typical look of leadership, reinforcing my idea. Sorry to interrupt, but I love what you do. Anonymous Nunya. Let's go. Thank you. That gives me confidence to keep doing this, because I am not the best reader. But hey, good looking. That really helps me out. Are they talking about what I imagined? I asked Butler slowly. He nodded his head. There are the giant warriors of the South, William. Fael heard him and blurted out a sentence that left me even more intrigued. Not only that, they are saviors of our people, the ones who led us to these lands before the reset of our time. Alright guys, we gotta digest that. He said, not only that, they are the saviors of our people, the ones who led us to these lands before the reset of our time. So they're saying some giants took them to this land beyond the ice wall. The Anakim giants. Welcome traffic jam. That is interesting. Not only that, they are the saviors of our people, the ones who led us to these lands before the reset of our time. He then commented to Butler that he should leave, but to do what it was needed, and quickly returned to his office with 3 agents following him. Butler asked me to follow him, and so I did, as best as I could among thousands of agents coming and going. Another attack was feared. War was brewing on the very land we have only set foot on a few hours before. The captain told me that it was time to rest before embarking on a new journey in another destination. I stared at him as if expressing my fear again. Besides, I was not sure if our ship was still standing. I could hear the explosions outside, and it was then when I thought to ask, where would we go on this destination? Because the reason for it was something that Fael had requested. He explained to me that it was not exactly Fael's plan, but that the moment required it. He would go look for it in the team first to gather them here. And once they were all here, we would undertake a unique trip to the Anakim lands. But first we would pass by their home. I was stunned by trying to digest these words. I wanted to have said so many things, but my voice barely made a sound, made no sense in any language. Butler then clarified in case it was necessary before. My desperate way of expressing myself. I am sorry, I couldn't tell you sooner, William. I am so much a part of these lands as anyone else. You see suffering here. I was born with the ancestral blood, and I am watching my brothers die. Apparently they wanted to repeat history even in these lands. It is time to save again the only humanity that survived a custodial reset. So these custodians are in charge of the resets? Who are the custodians? And when we could save us all, who better than the very ones who helped cross the ice walls back then? Butler then marched off and got lost among the agents waiting outside. I lay down on the most comfortable bed my body had ever been in, intending to sleep, but who was going to sleep after all that I have been through? How would my reasons process so much information from the story never told? How could I not see the eyes of my new brothers falling in pain and not feel that we are right beside them? And then we had escaped from a sinister place that I used to call home. These feelings hit my chest with a resentment and deep venom. I would want at that moment to open the doors to the innocents we were leaving behind, to the loved ones of the known lands. I think we're on chapter 8, the disease of the human being. Sarah, you are super late. No, I'm just kidding. You all right. Alpha Draconians and Archons might be the custodians, warrior of light, or Archons. I like saying Archons. I like saying Archons. All right. But he's saying Alpha Draconians and Archons might be the custodians. We're going to get back. We're going to get to the bottom of the custodians, guys, because I got something else. While we're talking about the custodians, let me show you something. He's like, dang, is he going to pull out a custodian? No, since we're talking about the custodians, check this out. I don't know where it's at, but we're definitely going to get to the bottom of those custodians. You better bet your bottom dollar, bucko. Sarah, welcome, Choo Choo. My seat's on fire, bro. Better not be. Alright, the disease of the human being. Let's go, guys. I had been able to fall asleep after several failed attempts among so many thoughts and explosions heard in the distance, thinking that maybe none of this was real. It couldn't be happening. It was too much information to process in my confused mind. I was abruptly awakened by the captain's voice. William, up. It's time to march. He said it in a firm voice, almost like it was an order. I could barely grasp the situation and again be aware that we are under enemy attack and an enemy I was almost completely unaware of. Butler had gathered the whole team together. Everyone was safe, and it brought my soul back to my body. We embraced each other as if a great team. We were all for the situations we had been through. Almost a brotherly reunion in an unhappy continent where only negative things were happening all around. We went out to the center corridor that crossed with President Fayel's door. The captain was worried and ordered us to hurry as much as we could. The thousands of people that were crowded in the building were gone. What had happened to them? I didn't even have time to ask before the boys commented as they passed by that the evacuation plan has been activated. One of them with astonishment told me, we saw big trains and thousands of ships overheard carrying many people at the incredible speeds, William. The captain came back to us saying that it is exactly what we are going to do. We'll be getting on one of those ships that has to leave in 12 minutes. Hurry up. The pace, then we will have to talk about everything that is happening. I know you have so many questions that will be answered as soon as we have arrived to the safe lands. We have barely arrived to the supposed safe lands, and now again we're looking for other lands. It seemed that we were turning into the lands into unsafe. We were arriving and hell was falling all around us. I feared that the people would think that we cursed and that bringing this calamity with us. Practically running through the desolate streets destroyed by the bombs that had fallen, I managed to look up at the sky again, and those little spheres were gone. But in my place were passing at incredible speeds some big blush triangles from one side to another. I could not help stopping for a minute. When the captain noticed my fault, he returned to his place shouting at me, William, Leave the skies for a second. Now is not the time. Those flying birds are friends. The iron blues are making the enemies retreat. Now please, let's go get our destination urgently. I had no choice and gave in such a plea, although it was quite hard for me to let pass such a majestic flight of those blue birds. They were flying from one side to another. They were flying in a magnificent and singular way. I could not believe that they were being directed by someone or something. They seemed as if they had a mind of their own. When we arrived to the supposed destination, there were many agents apparently waiting for Butler and therefore all of us. Although they seemed to be relieved to know that the captain was alive and that they would reproach us for our delay, and that they put us quickly on a silver platform and it took us to the top. While we were contempting and contradictory view. My fault, y'all. That's a tough one. Between the fire, death, and desolation to the other sides of the modern city, with structures never seen before, the representation absolute prosperity. In the skyline, the iron blues were still battling against the spheres that were already far from the coast. The captain asked me if this view did not remind us of the portraits of Nuremberg and Basel, but it all looked each other without understanding what he was actually referring to. As soon as we arrived at the top floor, some agents greeted us with a warm welcome, commenting that we were about to have a unique experience touching the clouds. These ships were not like all the ones we had in our minds. We couldn't even imagine such a thing. The structure was huge and they seemed to be mated to one piece. These seemed to be routed in the skies, leading to two different ones separately, there and back. These supposedly large iron structures were lost in the horizon. From what I was told by the same agent who received us, they connected every point of the big cities. He told to prepare myself because the first experience of traveling in these great ships was something that would never be forgotten. So they're traveling in these great giant ships. A dark blue ship was waiting for us. Once inside, the opening closed automatically. I sat next to Butler in the seats of 4 people. The interior seemed even bigger than it was on the outside. So this was a giant blue ship they're walking into, and once they get inside, they're like, man, this is actually looks even bigger on the inside. Soon to sit down and started up, but we could barely hear a faint whistling sound. Butler and the agents asked us to try and relax. That's getting used to the iron giants was going to take something getting used to first, but we wouldn't notice. As soon as the trip began, one of the boys was the first to collapse with a fainting spell, but he came to quickly. It felt dizzy and missed Butler's conversations with the agents. I tried to relax, enjoy the frantic ship that seemed to be ejected like a ball from the most powerful English cannon. At times, we wouldn't enter long tunnels and anything would go dark at those moments. I thought I would pass out too, but I got around this feeling of temporary nausea and dizziness as best as I could. And after 15 or 20 minutes, we were all traveling smoothly. It was time to pay attention to the beautiful landscape of the ancestral republic. Renancer in the distance was the most modern and prosperous city that not even the great literary minds could have imagined. The surroundings were tinging with various colors due to their large plantations of vegetables, flowers, and fruit trees. The green was so predominant. It was a really emotional view that invited to live in the small Eden. In the fact, according to what I heard, there were some nearby islands called the Islands of Eden. That even provided a greater spectacle, and it was named described them perfectly. Although I could not afford to miss listening to the interesting conversations of Butler with the others about the war strategies that were developing. Where to start? Could you imagine a place called the Islands of Eden? That almost gives me like Hawaii vibes, but I couldn't even think how it could be even better than Hawaii, you know? The Gardens of Eden, though, y'all? All right. At this moment, when his big talk of plans and strategies ended, I knew it was my chance to again ask my questions. I had as many as the reader will surely have to point out. I didn't know where to start. Butler beat me to the punch and outlined the next question. How much did the last air measurement yield? How much damage did we have in that area? One of the agents replies that One of the agents replied that we sure that they had acted in one time. For this reason, the attack was made in the same area where the numbers showed possible poisoning of the air in nearby plantations. I could no longer bear this conversation that seemed like undecipherable codes to me and to the whole group. So I got up my courage and asked, "Can you explain to us which poisoning are you talking about?" Butler looked at the group somewhat with compunction and explained Felicity. My boy Jet Ski Chuck. What's good, Memphis Conspiracy, with the $5. Thank you, brother. We diving off into this. We're seeing about the Gardens of Eden, these spaceships that shooting them out of these balls, these cannons like balls. I don't know. They poison the air. Let's see. How do I explain? The human that is born in their lands gets sick quickly due to the work that the custodians do. Damn. So that reptilian custodian correlation might be a little bit on point. This disease is usually implanted in the first human, or better said, the babies left from the last reset, or maybe the second generation as well, to make sure. But then this is passed from generation to generation automatically. It is not uncommon for them to poison the air they breathe, which is the most common way. Chemtrails, anyone? Sometimes to continue to ensure the future sick generations, or simply docilicity. It is a very cruel race, William. I am sorry that you had to find out like this in such an abrupt way, but sooner or later you'll have to know. We were all stunned again by such a statement. What do you mean about poisoning our air? And what is this disease, or what harm does it cause? I asked, astonished. This disease is practically new, and it is used to the last reset. Clarified the agent who was listening to our conversation. We are still studying it, but we want to know, is that what makes the bodies age rapidly, and that only small part of their lives are useful and profitable for them, and then they give it away to the next generation quickly. They prefer it this way because the past longevity brought other conflicts. People had more time to analyze the situation in which they found themselves in. They modified the human and molded it to their usefulness, avoid any conflict. The idea is always to refill the cycle called natural, and then the next reset. Does this mean that they shorten our lifespan? That's exactly what I'm saying. We in the Ancestral Republic live 3 times longer than you because there's no such modification in our bodies. Damn, so we modified, y'all? But they tried recently. They want first to shorten our lives to achieve their control. Butler interrupted with the blueprint he had in his hand and started to ask again about the war strategy issues. I could not fully understand the situation. It was also confusing and it generated such anger in me that it was hard to handle. I think we all thought the same at that moment. The guys were asking each other and analyzing this, trying to understand it. The custodians were shortening our lives and making them miserable. I understand then that there was no freedom of any form in the known lands. Damn. Did y'all hear that? This is getting good. He said the custodians were shortening our lives and making them miserable. I understood then that there was no freedom of any form in the known lands. How could we free our own people from this perverse power? How could we declare war on an enemy of which we were unaware? What was human like without this foul control? The answers were right in front of my eyes. Absolute prosperity was below us, and every boy and every girl who ran through the fields freely, where their life seemed to be happy and carefree into their old age, perhaps at 240 or 250 years old. How wise could an elder of the Republic be then? Somebody, could you imagine how smart you would be? Being around the block for 200 years? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't probably even talk. You just would be, just pointing in directions, and that would mean so much. I wonder what they were eating. How wise could an elder of the Republic be then? How free was a child born there? How much evil existed within each one without the cursed custodial control? We arrived at the capital called the Ark. And in the time, there was no delays there, except for our delay of 1 or 2 minutes. The doors opened and we stopped on a platform where everything was covered by some type of crystal. If the scenery was already incredible by then, the reader will understand that I could not add any words for such a description. These are the moments that I regret not having been born or trained as a literary great, but I assure you that the day we lived at the best sunset that someone can have in his life. There were structures never seen before that touched the skies. Besides hundreds of flying wheels, they were like 2 wheels that joined together, forming with other material and spheres that could carry 1 or 2 passengers on it. Sometimes something magnificent to see. Other incredible details was that in spite of seeing the biggest, most illuminated and fullest city of all, there was no noise. Everything was completely in absolute silence. So they basically told us the custodians then chopped our years into 3, and we can't live to 250 or 240 like everyone else outside the known lands because of the air we breathe, basically. And they arrived to this crazy looking city that's made of crystal, and it's the most beautiful thing they ever seen. And this next chapter is called human greatness. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. My name is Jet Ski Chuck. I would love to have you. We dive on something called Dark Waters 9. That's where we look into crazy, creepy, disturbing theories from around the world. And we uncover a whole bunch of different stuff. We have the research team. We have Dark Water 9 explorers. And then we got our buckos and our buckarettes. You guys need something, man? I gotta get something to drink, man. All this talking, I should have had something with me. Smooth Kill, welcome to the channel. And we have so many other bangers you can go back and watch. But this is a quick interlude. Let's go to 82. Yeah, let's get those likes up, y'all. Slap that like button. If you haven't already, you watching on your phone. If you're watching on a TV, pick up your phone, type in Jet Ski Chuck and hit the like button. Your boy need it. We are taking a quick interlude. Huge shout out to Evans. Huge shout out to PJ, Bertha Nada, welcome K Ben, and Tanner by the Sea. Huge shout out to Nunya for the donations, guys. Probably should have hit a enter button in there. All right, y'all. Let me get something to drink real quick. I'll be right back, and we're going to keep diving on these waters. Yeah. What's got? Everybody. I'll do a flow right now. Say I won't. Freestyle just key chop. Mixtape coming soon. Dark Waters 9 mixtape. Stop playing with me. Y'all knew it was coming. A little water. I can't flow, y'all. Rumax said, let's hear it. We're going past the ice wall. We don't know what giants may fall or what may crawl, but we're going anyway. Despite all the science, we ran into the Anakim giants. So we're gonna do our thing because we know they're not our friends. Trying to dodge the custodians. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all, man. We might have to write something and get in a studio, y'all. We might need to get in a studio. I don't freestyle, but we might have to. I might have to make a little track or something, you know? Dark Waters track. All right, y'all ready? Let's get all toasty. Get back to my book. All right, y'all. Human greatness. They're in this amazing city filled with all types of amazing stuff. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. the captain, El Arca, received us. But as things were going so far, it is clearly not going to be a pleasure trip, at least not at the beginning. Butler ordered us to follow him, and after saying goodbye to the other officers, we immersed ourselves in this immense, luminous, modern city that my mind is so lacking in imagination would never have imagined. We tried not to lose sight of the captain, who never looked back, but as his custom as a leader, he expected us faithful companions to follow him without losing track. It was complex to do so because we were interrupted by the environment at every step we took. The whole group was really surprised. People filled the public spaces, restaurants, and vehicles seemed to always collide but never did. Their maneuvers were almost perfect. So I'm thinking of like the Jetsons type stuff. You know how the Jetsons be crossing and it's like they about to hit but they don't, and it's just all together. What's good, Bama? Rue Mac in the building. Tanner by the Sea. I enjoy your channel. Very informative. I try my best, guys. When I put my own little spin on it, have fun with it, you know. In the sky being transparent spheres, we're walking from one side to another. Most of them were occupied by one person, but in same occasions, even two were seen driving those strange balloons that floated across the skies. So it sounds like they have cars, but they're like these orbs that's traveling fast on some Star Wars type stuff. Even when the news was fast spreading in every part of the Republic, the citizens of El Arca were happily strolling around as if no war has broken out just a few miles away. Separating from the captain, we would have left us in big trouble, as if the language they used in the capital was not English nor any language. I could decipher another question was already adding to my mind. Would this be a native language, perhaps the oldest one anyone could have heard from earlier than humanity? And if so, where did it come from? I sank into my thoughts and I automatically followed the captain in the land of Anakim, imagining what such a place might be like. And part of me even doubted its existence. It was unbelievable to even imagine the possibility of seeing giants. Giants. I asked myself in an inner voice. It was even strange to repeat it in my own mind. I think the whole group was in for the same situation. We appeared at a place that appeared to be a large harbor. Many boats were resting. Butler asked us to wait for him while he went over to talk to the officers there. We took the opportunity to talk to each other while we were all living in a dream that at times turned into a nightmare, from the Eden that could be seen from the heights of the great forest, from the colorful flowers to the deadly and bloody roars of these apparently famous custodians, of which we had barely heard until now, and that perhaps I would have liked to never know. With the experience of past war and the battles at sea that I had under my belt, I could notice that the group was very united and with a lot of strength. I guess that the uncertainty of this knowledge with which we had collided unintentionally transmitted an immense desire that arose from within information as possible, to unravel this unknown human history in the lands where we were born. We also began to doubt about the recent attack. Was it our fault for escaping from the known lands? Was it our punishment? Were those great walls of the ice perhaps artificial? Were the custodians perhaps other humans, or were they a race we did not know? Giants, new races, new lands, and artificial walls. We beginning to dig so deep that our theories had already bordered on the ridiculous, but everything was already beginning to the unknown then nothing become logical either. Our world was changing every second. It had done it forever, like a divine sentence. He said artificial ice walls, though? That's wild. Butler approached us and told us that we would like that boat over there, pointing with his hand. It was the boat that stood out the most, similar to the one that approached us as soon as we crossed our walls. Everything was ready to leave for the Anakim lands, but first, according to Butler, we would have a stoop over in Captain's lands. We were able to visit every corner of the luxurious and modern ship. Everything was from a different, distant area to be one known to us, different to understand in case it was not already enough that we haven't noticed that the technology was advanced in light years. They explained to me that we could practically say that these ships handled themselves. Besides that, we could hardly hear the outside. They were very silent, fast, and we could hardly notice the movement in the water. Anyway, the sea was calm, and suddenly this made me realize that the waves were always in this state, the calmest and most neutral form in these lands. All right, so they're on this giant boat that first approached them. Shahan. They were in a boat like this. Now, if you give me a second, I can get the... You know we gotta have the water effect. What is going on? There it is. All right. Trying not to make it too loud. So they're on a boat. Just like this, they're going through calm waters. They said it was just like the boat that approached them. They explained to me that we could practically say that these ships handled themselves. You read that. Anyway, the sea was calm, and this made me realize the waves were always in this state, their calmest and most neutral form in these lands. At last, in our experience on the trip, then that led to another question on the immerse list. Had I already had my credit? Did these waters have a totally different way of behaving compared to ours? I was sure of one thing, and that was that the moon, at least 3 times brighter, the color of the sun was totally different from the known, and that there was another sphere of a bluish blackish color, which I noticed when the iron blues battled over a head. First, I imagined that it was part of some technology I did not know, but it was still there, static and part of the firmament. Did y'all hear that? So basically, y'all see that sun over there, right? To my right. Watch this. Let me show you something. Please, let me show you. Let me show you something. They said there's a bluish object in the firmament. You mean something like... Hold on a second. We have to do this. We have to. There's no way around this. We got to do this. if I can find what it's called. Dang, we might not be able to. I tried, y'all. Wait, nope. Something like this. In the back. He said there's a third object. If you look to your right, you can see the sun. But if you look to your left, he said there's something else in the firmament. I thought it was a robot or something, but he said no, it's still there. I was sure of one thing, and that was the moon was at least 3 times brighter, and the color of the sun was totally different from the known. And there was also another sphere, a bluish black color, which I noticed when the iron blues battled overhead. First, I imagined that it was part of some technology. I did not know, but it was still there, static, in a part of the firmament. After a few minutes of sailing at true extraordinary speeds, the whole group and the captain ordered us to prepare to descend. Although the situation was tense and certain precautions were taken during the short trip, we breathed a different air as we arrived at this island that had a small and humble port, not so different from those who knew in America. And in the distant many low houses of the shiny white color that peeked out from among the green hills. Butler left few belongings on the floor, and suddenly a little girl who seemed to be no more than 6 years old ran into his arms. Behind him a woman with a pale face smiled as she saw the captain arrive to port. After the deep embrace, she introduced us. It was his wife and daughter who welcomed us. Butler, with cheerful tone, confirmed that what we all thought. Welcome to my land, comrades. This is my family, and I hope you are comfortable here as long as we can stay. So, Butler has a whole family in the known lands. He was an agent. We settled in some houses adjoining the captain's house, who also invited us to enter. Gave us all the comforts. We did not think we would be there long, but of the urgency required by the situation in which we were. But Butler said later it was just over a year since he was at home, and it was not going to waste the time to stay as long as he could with his family. We stayed 2 nights on that simple but beautiful island, and during this period I was able to talk about the captain about several points that kept nagging at the back of my mind that I needed to externalize. I was looking for answers over and over. My mind would not slow down for a second. Butler knew this and anticipated, like he always did. He was a man who walked several steps ahead of us, every direction and thought. Their mind are somehow modified to put in a way you can't understand me. I tried to follow him with my eyes and act in an inner emptiness and only wanting him to develop that interesting and disturbing point. Butler then went on to say, the ultimate humanity is dependent on your mind. In a totally noxious extreme, you do not detach yourself almost at any time, with exceptions. You imagine what exists and what is based on your thoughts. Your image created by experience and through others who also feedback on others' thoughts, create an immense network. where each one identifies himself according to where he was born, his status quo or physical condition, but this only does nothing but move away from the true human essence. We, those who have blood of ancestral humanity, do not have the permanent attack of the mind with infinite thoughts, mostly degrading, and that also mostly are inventions of situations that no longer exist or will ever happen. Humanity in each reset was approached with what the custodians want from us, because they were modifying both their bodies and minds as the environment. The lands you left behind is an isolated world, unreal, with evil stands out. Wars abound, and degradation becomes almost unbearable. But those humans, your brothers and mine too, although from another area, are not what their minds think every day. That is why history is hidden, because if human greatness were known, then nothing could stop us in our growth, because no one would live kneeling if they knew who is trying them with an invisible leash there in the world inside the ice walls, these glorious and revealing lands. I asked some important questions that you will soon understand from the story of what will happen the next morning when the strange sun would shine again. It would find us sailing towards the lands of the Anakim. So they're in the lands now. To summarize, we just met Butler's wife and daughter, and he basically revealed to us of how we can be the ultimate humans from our minds not being constricted of what the custodians are basically putting in us. And they're now trying to go to a different land, because they're in the ancestral land right now. So now they're trying to go to the Anakim land. What chapter is this? Chapter 10? Chapter 10, The Origin of the Human Being and the Revealing Book of Shiki about the Other World. This is getting deep. This book is strictly for entertainment purposes only. This is just a book, and we're just reading it. That's all we're doing here. Do your own research on everything. This is just a story. And this will be our last one for the night, guys. So I'm going to really give it my all on my reading here. So let's get it in. We'll reel it in. The journey of the islands of the giants went with major inconvenience. The only strange and remarkable went without major inconvenience. The only strange and remarkable thing was that there was no night. The day faded barely on the horizons, but the first night and full and clear moon appeared in the firmament, and we were barely noticed the transition, like in the external sunset of fire in the distance. I saw two iron blues pass across the sky at different parts of the last day's journey to the islands of the giants. It was hard to fall asleep because of everything that had been going on in our lives and around us. We were all wanting for the big moment of contacting giants. It was something we could not even imagine. We finally arrived at a fairly modern port, perhaps the fewer structures of the majestic in the capital of the ancestral republic, but the ships differed quite a lot from those I had seen before. A certain decline towards military ships stood out. Even some even seemed to have weapons that I have never seen on top. As soon as we descended, a man with a very long reddish beard and a woman with a beautiful face and long blonde hair welcomed us. First they spoke with the captain and then introduced us to everyone. Although they were tall, they were no more than 2.5 meters tall. It was enough to pass us by several long feet. I was afraid to step on the ground of the giants. We shook hands and followed them. The city was not so silent, and that was more like a rural area. The language they spoke there was also unintelligible to our ears. The captain could not speak it either, but the woman who introduced herself, Shiki, spoke our language in a very strange way, but she was fluent and could make herself understood. We entered the part that seemed to be the center of the village. On the remote island in the ocean, also tethered to unknown to Shiki invited us in. Their houses were domes of different heights, and there was also huge white towers finished with domes on top, and some there were even figures of giants watching everything. I think I would not want to leave this island without going up there, at least to the top of the majestic view to who knows where. I noticed that they were already beginning to naturalize situations that until weeks ago we thought unthinkable, that we would surely faint if we found out in the situation we are in now. In front of us, the giants Anakim. Without having gone through all of the above, I had in my mind imagined the barbarian giants with only some basic clothing that covered them. But the reality is that this advanced race seemed to come out of some story of parallel worlds. Their attire was colorful and addressed to their large bodies. We could see later approaching the central area that there was thousands of giants of all sizes, but never descended from 2 meters 20 or 2 meters 30, and we would have come to see giants as high as 4 meters. Butler told us that the race of giants was so important to know our past, since there was in them ancestral human blood and pure giant blood of the ancestral lands of Anak. He told us that later that they would tell us little of the history of our race link, how the ancient and pure giants joined with ancestral humans to bring forth one of the most powerful forces that ever existed in the known lands to comfort the custodians, known as the Great Tartary. What? He told us that later they would tell us little of the history of our race link, how the ancient and pure giants joined with the ancestral humans to bring forth one of the most powerful forces that ever existed in the known lands to confront the custodians, known as the Great Tartary. So basically what that's saying is the Great Tartary was trying to confront the custodians. The Tartarians was trying to confront the custodians, and that there was giants back in those days. There was giants in the known lands where we're at now, for entertainment purposes only, guys. We done seen all the different. Look, let me show you something. Let me show you something. know I got something something brewing. Let me show you something. It's gotta be. Okay, here we go. You want to talk about giants? What do you call this? What do you call that? Who's wielding that giant sword? Giant. Hold on, I got more. So they're saying pure giant's blood. You had ancestral humans and pure giant's blood mixing in together to make Tartaria. And looky here. Guess what I got? A giant's finger. We know that there's lots of different artifacts of giants all throughout America, guys. For entertainment purposes only. Are you with me? Are you guys with me? One more. Hold on, I gotta find it. Make sure not to lose my space. But I gotta show y'all this. It's not easy to find. Unbelievable. I have to find it. Look at this, y'all. We got a giant's ring. Tell me that ring isn't gonna fit on that finger. Let's look at it again. Nephilim giant ring found. Y'all see that, right? Don't tell me that ain't fitting on this. Look how massive that is. What else could you say that is? What would you say that's something you can put? I couldn't even tell you what else you could say that is. That's a ring, my boy. That is a ring, bucko. All right. That's a big finger. Brad said, I killed giants on Skyrim. Them boys are savages. All right. Known as Great Tartary, which could have changed the course of history forever, and that in any case marked and before and after generating radical changes in the known lands as well as surrounding worlds. Dang, so the Tartarias, I thought they might have dipped, but right then it would have said, oh, people from Tartaria couldn't escape to the ancestral lands. I think it would have said it right there, and it didn't. As well as the surrounding worlds. Shiki approached where we were with Butler talking about this topic that I was trying to follow closely without missing any detail and making a mental note of the thousands of questions that arose in my mind. At each advance, I noticed that the giant had in her hands a huge book that she offered to me, saying this would help me to understand much more about the past of our races. As soon as I opened it, I noticed several maps. She marked a huge page where our home, the known lands, and its surroundings were specified below, and on the following pages, she also detailed that what was known about the lands, their races, and history. Again, when I thought I had seen it all, I felt again a fire burning inside me with each page. My face was hard to explain, an expression trying to explain this new personal discovery. Shiki noticed in my expression that I was sinking into information. She told me, try not to digest it all at once. With time, you will understand, assimilate it. She tried to reassure me. How many lands are there? I went so far as to ask at his expression with a smile, understanding my frustration. 178 known worlds, at least according to the information we've been able to gather, he commented. But that doesn't count all the lands and islands that exist outside them, Butler added. The kind of beautiful giant human, as she went on to summarize a bit of some key points as she showed me the pages of this wonderful and unique book. We stopped at the Anaki lands. There her face changed. The Anaki's race has always behaved in a hostile manner towards humans since the beginning. And he also commented that they were bound by an old treaty with custodians. Would it be the most awaited moment for me? Would it be the accumulating moment where I would know the true beginning of human life, the true origin? I will not get ahead of myself for the moment. I will only say that this conversation, in case the trip itself had not already done so, changed my life completely. I will go on to detail and transcribe this conversation in the next chapter. Anytime I hear Anaki, I think fallen angels. So I'm thinking, are these fallen angels going crazy in a different land beyond the ice walls? I think we're on what, chapter 11, chapter 20. Look what this one says. The domes, the learning of the worlds beyond the ice walls. Will you learn about more about the fallen angels or the Anaki? Will our hero Butler finally tell William Morris everything he wants? Will the giants reveal more about the ancestral blood and Tartaria events? Will our heroes ride more unique ships? Find in next time on Dark Waters 9. Bro, when you finish the book, will you upload and edit the whole thing? I might be able to do that. This book really puts you to think how the depths of how big this realm is. Finally caught you live. K-Ben with the $2. Let's go. Caracia with the 99. Let's go. Shaq's NBA championship ring. Y'all funny, man. Oh, wait, y'all ain't supposed to see this one. Wait, let me get out of here. That was for a different one. But yeah, y'all. That's it. Tell me what y'all think. Tomorrow, we're going to be dropping a video. We're going to be dropping a video tomorrow around in between 6 9 p.m. Drop in the comments what you guys would like to see. I want to go more into Tartaria soon, but these orbs are hot. A lot of different stuff's popping up. So we might dive into those a little bit more tomorrow, go more in depth, see what else we can find. But be expecting a video tomorrow. We will be doing another live like this. What is today? Wednesday? Either Thursday or Friday. We will be diving into the domes, the learning of the worlds beyond the ice walls. It's getting nitty gritty. Okay? We will be diving into that either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. But guys, that's it, man. XLR, you digging the take those glasses off. I got this bright light on me too, so it helps. You know, it helps y'all see me, and it helps the light not be so bright on me. I'll get the lighting right someday. But yeah, y'all. Thank you for joining with me. Yeah, we letting the beard grow out, man. We're growing it out. I might shape the sides, but we're growing it a little bit. It's cold out here, y'all. But there, I appreciate you. Rumac in the building. Shout out to Rumac. And yeah, y'all. I'm about to make some nachos. I'm about to chop up some onions and some bell peppers, put it on the flat top, you know, saute it a little bit with some olive oil, some garlic pepper, some salt, some pepper, you know, chop me up some chicken, put some chicken on there, season it real good, you know, and then I'll make some nachos. I don't know how I'm gonna do this cheese, but I'm gonna figure it out. Find me something to watch. Your boy solved the orbs. All types of faces in the orbs. Okay. There's something going on with those orbs and these drones, man. It's definitely some type of interaction going on. And we read in this book, you hear how they were talking about the spheres, those little spheres. So there's a lot of different correlations, man, and a lot of different theories out there, man. Just gotta put them together. But all right, y'all have a blessed one. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Thank you for stopping through. Your boy Jesky Chuck signing out.